I'm Mark Schacter. I'm a public management consultant, and I've been working on performance measurement, risk assessment, program evaluation going on 20 years. So I've worked with dozens of federal government departments, with provincial governments, NGOs, international organizations, and I find it fascinating. The series is about information that decision makers need to make good program management decisions and be in a position to hold themselves accountable for the work that they're doing. So we look at information for decision making from three angles: performance measurement, program evaluation, and risk assessment. And the reason why I pulled all of these three together into a series of three courses is because I think they're all very tightly linked. And this is something that often gets ignored. There are different ways of looking at what is my program doing, what is it accomplishing, and what might go wrong. Performance measurement is to make participants comfortable with the basic concepts. Simple things, but things that are often overlooked, like what is an output, what is an outcome, what is the difference between the two. The most important thing that I do, in fact, in all three courses, is to reduce these concepts to something that's very simple. So by the end of the course, I would hope that participants would be very comfortable working with performance measurement, comfortable interacting with experts. They'll know the right questions to ask. They will understand the answers. Program evaluation will look at what are the fundamental elements of a good program evaluation. What is a program evaluation supposed to do? So we will look at the Treasury Board Secretariat guidelines. We'll also look at just basic common sense principles. Why do we do a program evaluation? We want to figure out if the program has contributed to making things better for Canadians in the ways that were initially anticipated when the program was launched. Now that sounds simple, but that raises a whole bunch of technical problems. In risk assessment, we're going to look at all the things that can go wrong in your program. Every program carries risks with it because programs are really plans about how to proceed. Our program is going to do the following things in order to make things better for Canadians in a certain way. So we begin with these assumptions. Well, we all know that assumptions can be wrong sometimes. What risk assessment is about is anticipating what can go wrong in your program. And then that provides you with a basis for taking actions to minimize the damage if things go wrong, or to help you prevent things from going wrong in the first place. How do we break a program down such that we can say, okay, well, if our program is structured in this way, it means that we are making these assumptions, and these assumptions could be faulty. So what do we have to do to try to cover ourselves in case our assumptions are wrong? So that's what risk assessment is all about. Okay, so for performance measurement, for program evaluation, for risk assessment, I think there's two primary audiences. People who are directly involved in doing evaluations, in doing risk assessments, in doing performance measurement, or anybody who has to work with that information as a consumer of that information, or who has to contribute to the process, who might be called upon not to lead, say, program evaluation, but might have to provide information, might end up being interviewed. So this ends up covering a lot of people. And in terms of the level, it tends to be people at the working level and people at director level, people who are going to be more involved in a hands-on way. When participants complete these courses, they will be very comfortable working with performance measurement, program evaluation, risk assessment. They will understand the basic concepts, the vocabulary. For example, you would understand how to build a good logic model. You would be able to develop a set of performance measures that are practical, realistic, that will generate useful information. I would expect someone to be able to put together a strong plan for a program evaluation, to critically read and analyze a program evaluation, understand what's there, what might be missing, the strengths and the weaknesses. I would expect if you hire a consultant that you would be able to ask probing, intelligent questions to make sure that you get a good product. So it's all about walking away from the day feeling comfortable with program evaluation.